It's a mystery that is nearly impossible to answer, at least for certain. What happens when we die?
Believe it or not, there are people who say they can answer that question. Liz Habib here with stories of near-death experiences. Liz?
Yeah, the fear of death. Ever talk about how afraid you might be? The uncertainty of the afterlife. What's it like to die? It might be hard for most of us to comprehend, but people who have gone through what they say is a near-death experience actually embrace the thought of dying.
I realized I was going to die, and just a wave of peace came over me.
I actually felt my spirit starting to leave my body, and I saw this light, this bright light that was glorious beyond description.
I had a ball. I found out that I existed without having a body.
Stephen Damroth, Gary Guthrie, and Sharon Ritchie each nearly died, and each says they've seen the other side.
I envy the dead. I wish I was there to this day.
Damroth was stabbed by his schizophrenic brother 4 times. While in the hospital, he says he saw the light.
There were little lights dancing in each pane of glass. They all had a different color. They all fit together, and they were all moving in unison.
He says he felt an overwhelming sense of love.
The universe loved every part of itself, and I feel that love for every part of it as well.
Damroth, as well as Guthrie and Ritchie, share stories at this support group for near-death experiences, also known as NDEs.
Do you fear the way you might die?
Some come to listen and learn. Nancy Charade says she's
very much afraid of death. And, afraid of sickness. And, I don't know why. So I'm here to kind of just gather experiences.
She's particularly moved by Sharon Ritchie, who says, clinically speaking, she died under anesthesia. She says that before she was revived, her consciousness hovered over her body, that she was speaking to angels and to God. She says in death, she felt
the harmony, the fact that there is a peace and a harmony and a well-being. Everything is in perfect flow.
When this Texas teen, Ben Breedlove, chronicled his heart condition on YouTube, he became a poster child for near-death experiences. Using just note cards, he describes 3 NDEs where he saw bright light and angels. He, too, says he felt peace when he faced death. When he finally did die recently from that heart condition, 1,500 people came to his funeral.
I just can't believe that when our body dies, that that's the end.
This film, Afterlife, documents people who say they've had similar experiences as they face death. Dr. Jeffrey Long has chronicled their stories, and he concludes,
we all are going to have an afterlife. Who we are is going to survive our bodily death.
Skeptics challenge all this, saying there's no proof, no evidence. But at support groups like this, people say you cannot ignore how similar the stories are. Stories told by so many people over so many years. Everyone we spoke with at these meetings says near-death experiences brought God into their lives, and they no longer live with fear of death.
The afterlife is a reality.
There's nothing to be fearful of.
That young man, Ben, has had a tremendous impact on people. The people who had these experiences were definitely touched in a way that's tangible. They're living lives, they say, that are more devout. And we found there's a common denominator, optimism about death. They're not afraid. They really do seem at peace with it. They say going to one of the meetings is a way to get over your fear of death if you have one.
I read, too, that some said they were told that they had more to do, more to fulfill here on this planet.
That is one of the experiences people with near-death experiences have, that sort of message that you have to go back and do something.
Yeah. Wow.
I know, Jeff. I know.
What, that I'm biting my tongue? Or that
I know, there's a lot.
But
of course you're skeptical.
Well, scientists believe they do have explanations for this, and I mean,
scientists do.
Yes, they do, I'm not discounting this. I've talked to a man who had a near-death experience, friend of my father's, and he was very convincing. So I'm not decided.
Right,
I'm
and there is
saying
what scientists say and what people of faith believe.
Exactly.
And you have the same stories too about seeing the light. And
thank you, Liz.
Things to think about.